All right. All right. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Bison, aka Bison Trades over on Twitter. Welcome back to another episode of RareFUD Radio. I'm excited for today. I'm real excited for today. Not only do we have a lot to talk about, as always, as of lately, and definitely have some drops coming up. We have everybody talking about D God still on the timeline. Look, it's been what, a little under a week, 5 days. I still haven't heard people shut up about this. So, of course, naturally, we're going to continue to beat a dead horse. We'll talk a little bit about D Gods there. Mainly some key points I want to bring up to the crowd because I'm done talking about subjectivity. You like the art, you don't. You like the points follower, you don't. I don't care what it is. I think there's some cool stuff. I think there's some stuff that's overblown. It's not my project. I don't even have any money in it, so I don't care. But we'll talk about it. Well, we have to talk about it. We gotta stay up to the times. We'll talk about Tensorians doing well, doing well. They now well over 2x on what your mint price was if you bought all the shards and minted. Depending on when you bought your shards, I guess. They're doing healthy, and we still have a snapshot coming on that, so we'll definitely be talking about that. High Season 2 dropping tomorrow. Talk about some of the mechanics that are coming along with it. Talk about some of the mint mechanics that we got going along with it. We'll talk about all the announcements if you missed those as well. We'll talk about Migos. Migos is coming. I think it's an exciting time to be in Solana right now. We'll talk a little bit about our thoughts on the market and everything in between. But before I do, of course, I have to bring up the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Door, my brother in content. How we living?
Yeah, what's going on, dog? Every day's a holiday. Happy to be back after the weekend, man. Also, happy that we have a nice full plate of healthy content to talk about, dog. I'm glad even though we in a bear market, stuff's still popping off. So it's nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not the only thing that's full today. We also have Mr. JoeSol himself, the man, the myth, the legend. What is up, Joe? How we living?
Oh, we living like a pigeon. Fly, baby.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
ask like which pigeon though, because like New York pigeons probably eating hella good, man. So like,
yeah, they got scraps over there, bro. I mean,
scraps all day, man.
It must be nice to be a New York City pigeon. I mean, they got subways to ride. You can fly. If your wings are tired, you can go take the train. I don't know what you want to do. You can ride on
the Empire State Building. Like,
yeah, you got scraps for days. People throwing food left and right. I mean, that's a good life right there. I don't know.
In this city, you'll see a pigeon hop on the bus and get off the next street. Like, you could have just flown there, my G. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what clip you're talking about there, Joe. I saw that clip this morning. I was dying laughing. I was like, anyways, it's nice to have Joe back. It's nice to have a full slate of hosts today, and we got stuff to talk about. So yeah, we are out of the boredom, at least for right now. We'll see if that persists. We'll see if this is just a blip on the map, or are we at our bottom? It seemed like NFTs did find at least a local bottom on interest, at the very least interest, right? I don't know if we're going to see a rally or anything like that, but it seems like some people are curious to come back into the market. So we definitely have a lot to talk about. Before we do, we got to go over to sniper.xyz. Make sure you go over to that market overview tab under tools. That is sniper.xyz/market-overview. We're over 2,000 buyers. We are over 2,000 buyers. We are at 2,269, 4,594 sellers. So still maintaining that 2-to-1 ratio over there. We'd love to see that flip, but it's incredibly hard to flip that. So anybody who's expecting that, it ain't happening, dog. That don't happen. That hasn't happened since like late 2021. Yeah. So yeah, there's just always going to be more listers, more sellers, and everything like that. But we would like to see some parity. Nonetheless, we got some life in the market. Things are moving a little bit. We got Soul Casino going on an absolute tear. This thing is cooking, bro. Oh my goodness. This thing is absolutely going nuclear. We'll talk about that in a second, but going over to tiexo.com/analytics. If you want to follow along with us over there, volume is 40K Solana. Not bad. Sitting at a mil. We'll take $1 million worth of volume. Tents are sitting at 47.03% market share. Magic Eden, 38.64%. Haiti Swap, doing Haiti Swap things, sitting at 6.82%. Solana Art, after their crazy. Did you guys see that the other day? That like basically anybody who delisted or relisted or anything like that, basically it caused a volume glitch on a lot of people's radars that it showed $47 billion worth of volume. And so everybody was just like going around saying, "Oh, we are so back. We are so back."
Yeah.
That would be
dog. Even
one
when
day.
we were back, 47 billion in volume, dog.
Yeah,
no, man.
yeah, bro.
Nah, we ain't that back.
When can we get that, dude? When are NFTs the future of France? That's what I want to know. I don't know. It does feel like we do have a little bit of volume or a little bit of life in the market right now. Sol just kind of doing Sol things as far as price action, not anything crazy, not anything terrible, just so. So, gentlemen, how do we feel about the market? Let's go Door first and then Joe.
Yeah, NFT sentiment, I think we finally reached the bottom. I don't think we're back yet, not by any means. But we're starting to see a little life come back into the market with Tensorians. Sol Casino still continues to rip. So once again, I'd be looking out for projects that have the potential whenever life does return to continue to tear. And also, like, I know we're going to get in D-Gods, but I'd still keep an eye out on D-Gods for whenever they find their bottom. They recently fell from a, 7 or 8 ETH floor down to 4.5. So getting under that 4 ETH might be a solid pickup, man. On the crypto side of things, Sol's doing, as Bison said, Sol's doing Sol things. I ain't selling most Sol until we get back to all-time highs again. So I'm chilling on that.
Yeah. It's Sol's ranging right now. I mean, it's not really doing too much. It kind of just goes from high 24s to 25-ish area. I'll take that. I'll take that all day. I'm not going to complain about that because it gives time for NFTs to catch up. But Joe, how we feeling about the market? I know you've been kind of watching from the sidelines a little bit. What are we doing over there?
Yeah, I've still had some macro positions in. So I'm looking at the total crypto market cap, and I do think we broke out of this falling wedge. And I think we have room up to about 1.24 trillion. There's this sell side liquidity sitting there. 2 wicks, like a doji wick, on the daily, back in July. I think we retest those highs and then we take our dump into September. So my thesis is with that, obviously, is we'll see BTC kind of rip first, and then we'll have, as we've always had, is an alt season for mid caps, right? Which we haven't seen yet. So I do think that's in the cards for us still. So there's a few key points on Bitcoin that I'm looking for, right? So the monthly low at 29,217, would love to keep that right now. If we can keep that, we're going to travel up to 30,800. My last defense for my swing trades, and that's when I'll sell everything, go into stables, and get some type of DeFi action with stables and wait for the dump in September, because I think we will go higher after that. But that last straw is $29,030. I need to keep a daily above that, where I'm cutting everything and I'm be on the sidelines, chilling, waiting for my re-entry. So I think I'm optimistic in the short term, as in we'll see some good price action and volatility for some alts and BTC coming up here in the late of August. But I'm very pessimistic for September. Just because it's just historically bad in September, and I do think we'll have the last dump before we do see our bull cycle. So it's going to be a great time to be into some stables. And always, if it's invalidated, right, I still have positions and I'll rebuy higher. But that's where I'm at in the market. NFTs wise, man, I bought some Bodoggos to be back in the community because I have, some liquidity back now, and I'm not looking to make any money in NFTs anymore. It's just not worth it for me. So yeah, I think there's some cool community plays to be had at some of these prices right now if you're not looking to be money stricken. But other than that, yeah, I just think they're in the same place, right? It's just the last ladder to come, right? Leverage wise, we're just not in the market for them at all. That's 6 different rings down the totem pole right now before we see that happen again.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat where, one of the things that a lot of people aren't realizing too is that interest rates just took a spike. Since I'm involved in the mortgage rates and everything like that, just took a nice little hike up, which is never good. I do think that we're going to see some more, hikes of rates, more so than people are expecting, and that this kind of market environment is going to persist longer. On top of the fact that Biden put on student loan payments like on hold for a little bit, those are starting back in like the next couple of months. So if you're talking about the target, you're talking about the target demographic for most crypto, which is generally speaking anywhere from 18 to 34 is generally where a lot of the population, a lot of the majority that is involved with cryptocurrency is at. And you would imagine that's also the target demographic of a lot of student loan debt. So if they have to start paying back, like, are they going to buy crypto, or are they going to actually survive and live and put food on their table?
You know,
that goes right to my point, brother. My thesis as well. That's amazing. I didn't even think about that as confluence to my bull market started by the big businesses here. Like, we're not going to see the retail that we're used to. It's not going to be the same funnel of liquidity. We're going to have a bull market, but it is not going to be like we've seen before. Right. And I think that adds into why. That's another big reason why we're going to wait for these bigger, actual OTC deals to be happening. And that's kind of going to fuel it by these bigger companies. So I just wanted to add that kind of adds confluence to my thesis as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little bit more worried than a lot of people are coming out to be. I don't really see like, if you look at the crypto fear and greed index, it's neutral right now. And I think that's where it should be because, I don't know if that feeds into our narrative of, is this going to be bullish for like the future? Is this where people realize like, yeah, the dollar's actually ass? And, I don't know what the future holds. At the same time, I look at that and I'm like, yeah, it's probably not great in the medium term at the very least. I don't think it's going to be fun to deal with. So anywho, yeah, I mean, that's just kind of overarching report as far as crypto goes. Let's talk a little bit about some headlines. What's going into the news today? I want to start with Sol Casino because this run up on Sol Casino, hats off, dude. Hats off to them. In case you guys don't know a little bit about Sol Casino, minted for 10 Sol, if I remember correctly.
I think it was 12, dog.
Hey, yeah,
12. That range. It's 10 to 12 range.
Yeah, so basically minted for 12. And then went down, and everybody was like, wow, I can't believe you didn't sell out soon enough. Then they announced that they're going to refund the people that minted or are holding the bear. So 12 Sol was going to go back to them. That started their ascent, and then they just crushed it from there. Like, Sol Casino already was second biggest casino, basically behind Rollbit. I mean, nobody's catching up to Rollbit. I think Rollbit is going to be, it already is probably a multi-billion-dollar company at this point. Their market cap for their coin is like 600 mil last time I checked. And Rollbit is not stopping anytime soon. But if you want to catch the sympathy play, like Sol Casino, just fine. I mean, it's very similar interface. We do have sports betting is going to be live, survive, and thriving here in the next month or so when we have not only Premier League just started back up, a lot of the other major football leagues, soccer leagues, whatever, footy leagues, whatever you want to call it. But then we have American football, like we have college football and NFL coming back. Then you talk about like MLB, start getting into World Series time. It's going to be a really good time for betting. And that is always going to be a play. It never fails. Like always this time of year, if you have a casino play you want to go with that has sports betting, this is the time to get into it. So not financial advice. I don't know what your morals are or where your compass lies, but I want all the Sol Casino I can get. Now, I don't know if I want the NFT itself. I do think that if you got in early on the NFT, congratulations. You are absolutely printing. You got your ROI back, especially if you got in like sub 30 Sol. These things are now at 78 Sol without any royalties or marketplace fees. They have continuously crushed it. And hats off to them. If you want to play like I'm playing, it's Sol Casino, the SCS token, right? Like go into SPL. I told you this last show. I think it was about 3,000 or something like that. Now about 3,600. And I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. I would be very shocked if this doesn't reach close to 100 mil market cap. And right now it's sitting at about 36 mil. So still looking at something that I think probably the easiest 2x I will ever stare down in my life. And I think they have good mechanics with it. I was looking a little bit into the tokenomics. It does look like they have some burn mechanisms and, there's the use case is obvious there. So you guys, what did Soul Casino do right in your eyes? Like what caused this? Let's go with Door first and then Joe.
Yeah, I've never used Solo Casino's platform, but I guess they were innovative enough to gain a large audience to utilize their platform over others. Gambling NFTs are a zero-sum game. If you're not using one marketplace, one NFT site, the other ones are going to somebody else using the other ones. Meaning, the prime example of DJ and Fat Cats, dude, they're just on a continuous downfall. I don't see the bleeding out stopping anytime there. The bleeding stopping there anytime soon, just because we have such more developed casino platforms like Rollbit and Soul Casino. It's like, why are people want to use those? And if people aren't using those, the holders of those NFTs aren't gaining revenue from the platform. We see this the same thing, and I think dual bots as well. They hit a 60 soulish floor, and now they're down to, I think, 15, 16 maybe. I want to double check that. 17 soul floor. So as Rollbit and Soul Casino continue to gain a larger market share, those other ones are going to fall by the wayside. That goes for Necros as well, which is another branch off from DJ and CoinFlip. But I was very skeptical of Soul Casino when it first minted due to the communication from the team and their ability to capture market share. Congrats, guys. I don't know what else to say. I don't hit it on the head every time, but I take L's by L's. I'd rather miss something than to take an L on something. And Soul Casino is one of the ones I missed, and I think that's cool. But I'm glad that everything's working out for the team. As far as buying in at these prices, not touching it, dude. I think the SPL token's a much safer play, a much more liquid play than buying into Soul Casino at 80 Soul.
Yeah, it is. Look, if you want the rev share, I can see a case for it. If you wanted to buy the NFT, I can see a case for it. But I think it's a little too risky at this cost level. Like, you have to be assuming that you're going to hold the Soul Casino NFT to get the rev share in SCS or whatever they pay out in long enough that you'll break even. And I think that break even point is quite long now that it's an 80 Soul floor price. But Joe, have you looked into Soul Casino at all?
Yeah, I got in their token early. I saw Curb post about it. Then I went to I was like, oh, let me look at this chart. It was back when I wasn't even trading like at all. I was kind of like grinding doubles. And I remember it was like 9 p.m. and it was like just about, it was like 2-9. And I was like, all right, let me just go like whatever lick I have left that's not in Soul. Let me just dump it into here. And then, yeah, it just makes sense. Like the coat play for RLB, whoever missed that. It's got real mechanics behind it, actually. Like, the futures is coming. There's so much like actual speculation to be had still. And it just doesn't make sense. Like, people are degens. They want to leverage play right now. And it's like, they don't want to spend their soul too much, but this is like liquid. I just think it's one of those magnetizing plays, right? Like, there's not much going on. Liquidity is going to magnetize somewhere because everyone's degens inherently. And it's like, yeah, that makes sense to SCS. And like, I'm looking at the chart now and it looks like it's reaccumulating for that next upward swing. I mean, it's not hard to chart these SPLs. They work off of horizontals, right? They break a level, they're probably going to go back to the next horizontal. Like, it's just how they are right now. It's low liquidity. But I think the obvious play, if you're not in, is just the token. You're not going to go buy for a couple soul rev share. But, if you're in early under 12 soul, you got your payback and you're literally just living life with a passive income. Like, I get that. But I would say, yeah, look at the token, look at the chart, and don't just, buy. Have an exit strategy, because you're going to get euphoric and you'll never sell at the right point, and just like stick to your guns, right? Like, you can make some money here. Just got to have like principles and stick to them.
Yeah. I mean, I think the token makes so much sense to me. Like, this is a very obvious play just staring us in the face. I am a little worried that just because it's Solana, people are going to look more at the NFT than the token itself. And the token might be predicated on the success of the NFT. And I get a little worried because if the NFT price doesn't go up anymore, people might be like, oh yeah, like, why would I buy SCS? The NFT price should, kind of precede the price of the token. And that's not how it works in any other chain. It's just Solana, because we're NFTs first, or at least what I'm gathering from a lot of people. That's not to say that it will always be that way. In fact, Solana just hit an all-time high for this year for TVL, which I think DeFi is coming. I've been saying this for a while. Like, this is This is what's going to move the chain. It's not NFTs. I don't see enough innovation on NFTs. I think NFTs get that like hype and attention from a budding Solana ecosystem, and I think DeFi precedes that. So if you want the first mover, I can almost guarantee you, not financial advice, doing your own research, but DeFi is going to move first, and we're starting to see it. Like, this is the start of something special. I think DeFi and tokens are going to be what moves this chain forward. But that being said, let's talk about. I don't want to talk about DeGods too much more. We'll just briefly touch up on it, because you can jump into any space right now, any space, and you can hear everybody talking about it. You know what I mean? Like, everybody is talking about DeGods, and I'm so tired of it. My ears are bleeding from it. I don't want to talk about it anymore, but we are somebody that needs to cover news lines and headlines and everything like that. So briefly going to touch on it. One, art is subjective. Like, if you don't like the refresh, you can go back to the old art too. Like, you get that option. So you don't have to stay with the season 3 art if you don't like it. My personal take, I think some of them look really clean, really good. And then some of them I'm like, yeah, I would definitely take the Dead God over it 10 times out of 10. But art's subjective. Nobody cares. When it comes to the points parlor, seeing a lot of people be like, these points, the rewards aren't good enough and everything. Did you expect them to be? I mean, like, DeGods can only put so much of their treasury in, and it's not like they have a treasury like Azuki or Basie or anything like that. Like, they're playing in ETH land, but they're not playing with ETH money. They started out on Sol. So a majority of their money came from Sol land. Now, they had a bunch of volume. They have like 2,800 ETH volume. And if you take 5% of that, that is like 560? No, I'm doing my math wrong. Oh my goodness. I just had a brain fart. It's over 100 ETH, which you look at the prices right now, they made like 200K in one day on royalties. That is good for them. That's phenomenal. So they made money that way, but like, do you think DeGods is gonna come back from the grave? Because they're devastated right now. If you look at, there's one tweet in particular. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen so everybody can kind of follow along. But this is what would scare me if I was trying to buy the blood on DeGods, because I do want to. But this is from Cirrus. If you guys don't follow Cirrus, like, seriously, one of the best analysts in the space, does really good with analysis. But basically saying Machi, if you guys don't know who Machi is, that's Machi Big Brother, is up to 300 DeGods. But that's not even the worst part. There are now 350 underwater DeGod loans on Blend. Put simply, around 7% of the supply is in the hands of forced sellers. Collections that are on Blend have an extremely tight margin of error. One small misstep and your holders are trapped in the blender for a week straight. This is definitely not blood I want to buy just yet. In fact, I would rather see it go to the 3s area before I decide to buy anything. But this is terrifying. Those are numbers you don't want to see your collection, but we've seen it time and time again. Basie, Macy just went under the same conditions. And we also saw Azuki do the same thing. And this is off the back of elementals and, kind of everybody saying you just dropped the same art, and we paid 40 mil total for it. So congrats to Azuki for at least getting the bag. DeGods didn't make hardly anything on this. So Joe, what are we feeling about DeGods here? Because I would be a little worried if I was a holder.
Yeah, bro. I obviously sold out a while ago. And I kind of saw the writing on the wall, because when you, like, I think first off, it was overvalued in price action. Like a lot of NFTs are, and we're kind of reverting back to the mean where things are actually priced in. And I think it was based off of the speculation hype that points in and what you're going to get from that was going to be substantial. There was so much speculation and hype, and then when things start to come to fruition and reality sets in. When the bar is set this high and you only jumping 2 feet off the ground, you have a cataclysmic event like this because of so many whales that sitting on so many DeGods, and they're in so much profit that even if it comes to 5, you see them, they're still selling. So I think, yeah, they'll have a road back, but it's going to take washing out. But now you have Machi that's going to come in and play the the blur games, right? So it's like, yeah, it's going to take a while to wash out everything and really build something that people want to buy into again, and curate that community that they're really trying to do. But it's just like dust, dude, is like, it's a mess, right? The mechanics, you're giving more dust back to your holders now, but there is no sinks. There's no reason to hold it or anything. So they're just going to dump it to get some type of ROI back, causing just a trickle down effect in the price action to zero. There's no reason to hold it. Like, there's no other sinks. You're getting no APY. You can only use it for the art upgrade. So it's just like, I get it if they're like nonchalantly trying to kill dust off. Like, I understand why they'd want to do that, but it's just like, that is your value prop back, because that's one of your main rewards. So it's just kind of like, I get why the price is going down. Like, no hate. It's just like everything was rolled out very lackluster, I guess.
Yeah, that size says it all, because I think that's kind of where, I was, dude, it just kind of shows the point we're at in the market. I saw people going after Mark because Mark, made that, like, D-God's film Mark, and Mark was like, bro, this is going to break the internet, which it kind of has. To be fair, everybody's talking about it.
In the intended way, but
yeah. I just,
like, the art is great. Like, dude, if they would have just came out, no hesitate, and just said, yo, listen, we've made a lot of money. We have a great community that we're valued high, and they don't hype anything up. They go boom, and then all of a sudden they go boom, 333. You can have new art, boom, and then they have, oh, here's this part. Like, if they didn't hype it up and do what they do, people would respect it and understand. Like, all right, boom, boom. Like, it's a hype culture, which can bite you in your ass at the end of the day, right? There's two sides of that. There's the euphoric, and then there's the very down bad. So.
Yeah,
that's my 2 cents.
You couldn't have said it better, Joe, because I think, the thing about D-Gods is that it is a cult that absolutely just loves everything about D-Gods, because it made them a bunch of money. Like, if you held onto your D-Gods or bought D-Gods like around 50 SOL or something or less, you're doing well. But now it's like there's only so much hype that you can play off of before your cult starts turning on you. So I don't know. At the same time, like, they're trying something new. Like, are you gonna fault them for that? Like, at least they're trying something. A lot of these projects I see are doing the same old thing. So they're trying new art. They're trying new, brand redesigns. They're trying to be more approachable. They're trying this points parlor. They got crack in the front, like 100K. Worth of
the
reward,
euphoric paradigm is breaking, though, right? Like, what we see 2021, all these floor prices in our head, this is what it's worth, this is what, no, it's not, right? We're coming to a point in the market where reality's setting in. These are JPEGs. They offer community utility. Like, people are going to buy them and use them. They're willing to pay what they would be paying for any other type of product that gives them utility, a deodorant, a toothbrush. There's all these different levels, right? A car. So, like, it's just the fact of the matter. A lot of these communities are reverting to the mean where they should be in actuality, without the hype paradigm mixed in, right? And I think that's I think that's healthy, right? It's not flashy, but it's healthy for our market in the longevity of it, I think.
No, it is. And also, it didn't help too that one of the biggest holders, if not the biggest holder at the time, floored everything. So it's like, you can't really see anything.
Dog, half of her bag.
Oh no, she floored everything. She did 100 and then 100. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
she literally, like, market dumped like 2 mil worth of D-God. So yeah, it's brutal out in those streets.
Still up big though. Let's be honest though. She probably still up massively.
Yeah. No, she got out at the right time, and everybody was cell shaming her. And
exactly, dog. Like, that's my thing. Stop being salty because she didn't protect your bags. Old girl made her decision. She had enough conviction to accumulate that many D-Gods. And guess what? She didn't like what she liked and dumped onto y'all bids. I don't know what you want me to do. Don't get mad at her and say all this other stuff to her. It's not her job to protect the floor price.
Yep. I mean, it isn't. And honestly, that floor price wouldn't have got there without her. So, I always say, like, turning on your whales is like the quickest way to get somebody with massive liquidity to never buy in again. Like, she went under so much flack, and I just thought, it's like, bro, that's so silly. Like, you guys wouldn't have been there. You guys are just jealous you didn't sell first. Like, that's it to a T. So
that's it.
I don't know. That's as much as I'll say on D-Gods. I'm still rooting for them. I do think that this ecosystem is better when they're performing and getting attention and garnering attention. And, like, people are curious about NFTs when they see, oh, this thing ran up to like $20,000 NFT, like, that's always going to get people's attention. If you look on YouTube, the first thing that gets people interested in Solana is price prediction of Solana. Like, it's the most searched term. It's can Solana 10x? Can it make me money? You know, it's all those things. People want to know if a financial asset makes them money, and then from there they go into the rabbit hole.
Yep.
The same thing happens with these high price NFTs, and they start seeing Basie is down like 80%. They start seeing Azuki fell from grace. They see Doodles, you know, absolutely dumped, and they see all these headlines and they're like, oh, NFTs are a scam. I'm never buying this. It's not good for anybody. Like, if you're celebrating the downfall of DeGods, get your head checked. It's not good for your bags. You are dunking for engagement that you're going to make what, like $10 on Twitter or X now. Bro, stop. It's goofy.
Yeah, man. Like, I just think, as Joe was saying earlier, it's like we're kind of just in a bigger market correction. I do think that this hype cycle will come back. I'm not saying it's going to be like it was in the past, but by no means do I think some of these projects that's been around for a while are dead. Not even close to it. But we're in a rough time in the market. It is what it is. Like, I think Sol hit its bearish. So look, y'all can love ETH all day, but Sol's trends tend to be ahead of ETH. So if there's some big shift on Sol, it's likely to happen 3 to 6 months later on ETH. We saw that with the royalties. That was the first one. And we had a whole bunch of freaking ETH people making fun of us. Then Blur and Looks Rare came along, and they had their own crap show, and we were done with it. Now we're seeing this with the correction of the NFT market. Sol was the first NFT market was the one to take a massive hit. Floor price just down horrendously. And then ETH was making fun of us again, and then it happened over on ETH with all their top collections. So yep. It was just a thing bound to happen, but I'd be keeping my eye out on what's that next cycle of things that's going to happen on Sol, and be like, okay, this probably thing's going to happen on ETH. But overall, in the long run, I do admire Frank for his attention to garner, his ability to garner attention. Whether, like, once again, the people despise Frank, and it's beyond me why. He's a hype guy. That's what he does. That's how he got DeGods to 1,000 Sol floor. And you're now criticizing him for being a hype guy? No. If you really want to invest in founders who build, there are projects out there like Wolf Capital, who's everybody's not even paying attention to right now. The market doesn't want good products that deliver. They want a hype man. So don't get mad at Frank for giving the market what he wants. And also the other hate and the personal attacks that he gets, I think, is a bit unnecessary. Whenever you buy an NFT, nobody's forcing you to push that button, dog. Nobody's forcing you to take out loans when you are put your rent on the line of buying a crypto. Those are all stupid decisions that you made. So because you make a stupid decision and things don't work out the way you plan to it, don't get mad at the founder.
Yep. I mean, they're trying stuff. That is their goal. Sometimes
important, man.
Market does what market wants. So, all right, enough of the dead horse. I'm tired of talking about it. This will be a DeGods free zone for like the next week or so, because I'm tired of talking about it. Let's talk about some more fun stuff over on Solana. Let's talk about Migos first. I kind of want to talk about them. Migos is coming up on their launch. I think it's towards the end of August. I want to say it was like August 24th, maybe, if I'm remembering it correctly. 4,444 are going to be minted in Forge for the Blocksmith holders, and then the rest are going to be minted out in Sol. It is a 6 Sol mint price. I'm nervous for this one, guys. I'm nervous for this one. I got to say, in my power rankings of mints coming up, it was Tensor and Heist were, equal for one. And this is the removing team cap and, bias aside. I understand markets, and I knew those were going to be the two best. And then it was going to be Migos was probably going to be number 3. And then Sandbar was number 4. I'm now flipping them. Sandbar is number 3 to me. I like the art a lot. I like buckets a lot.
What's the mint price with Sandbar?
I think it was like 3 Sol last time I checked in, 7,500, where this is a 6 Sol mint. And I'm just a little nervous about it. There's a reason I'm nervous about it. Is one, 6 Sol is high. That's higher than our mint price, actually. It's 5.25 for Heist.
You guys got flooded into the ground when you initially had that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, that was understandable. But, at the same time, we took that and we used it as fuel to continue to deliver. But now we're coming back and we're actually cheaper than we were for season 1. So, we adjusted to market expectations, and we think that we're gonna add a bunch of value while still raising a good amount to continue to build out our game. With Migos, I'm not sure. It's IP, it's branding. That's what they came out and said, that they're going to do some fun experiences with the gaming. The Me Jump was actually pretty cool. They use cartridges and CNFTs. I'm more bullish on that aspect than the IP and branding, because I sit there and I'm like, wait up, bro. Not another 10K collection. That's IP and branding. Like, this is not the market to be doing that just yet. Like, if that's what your main goal is, stay away. But if it's to provide something of a gaming experience, that could be something that I think might have some value there. So I'm interested in that part. The main reason I'm concerned, though, is one, mint price is it's a little high, but more so, half of the collection is going to be minted in Forge. Forge has been accumulated by blocksmiths since the dawn of time. These guys have a bag of it. And so to gauge interest in Migos, I want to look at the Forge price, because if anybody's going to buy and hold, it's probably going to be your holders. And if they're not interested in using their token to buy it and then hold it, they're going to dump that token. I look at this chart, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again for Forge. I'm not inspired. None of this is inspiring to me. If I look at this chart, I look at this and I say, Now, they have yet to release some mint mechanics as far as what's going to happen. But I'm not sure. It could be a double bottom right here. We could look at this and that be that. But I'm a little nervous for Migos. I just don't know. I'm going to wait till I have more information. I'm not fudding them, but that's a hefty raise on IP and branding that I'm hoping that the gaming aspect, or, what they can build, is going to be of more use. Door, what's your take on Migos? Are you interested? What are we thinking?
Yeah, man, I'm not interested in Migos, Doug. I'm not. The Blocksmith team is top tier. They were one of the first, if not the first team, to come out with a solid whitelisting tool when it was much needed, man. Their launchpad was pretty top tier and is still used today. And that's really what propelled Blocksmith up to that 100 to 120 level, because every project out there was getting into, like, if you wanted to get into hype mints, you have a Blocksmith. That's just how it was. That was one of the main value drivers for Blocksmith in the past. But today, beyond the little cartridge game, which is cool, they haven't created anything that I know of that has been as groundbreaking as it has in the past. And I think that's drastically affected the price of the floor price of their NFT. It also affected the floor, the upward momentum of Forge. So I don't see, like, it's kind of hard for me to be like, oh, you want to mint Migos? Sure. Which I don't mind from a proven team, because they have proved themselves. But 6 Soul, man, that's a lot. How much of a raise is that, dog? 6 Soul, and they have what, 10,000 NFTs?
Well, it's 5,555 are going to be in Soul. So it's still like a 30,000 Soul raise. And if you look at current prices, that's still like a $600,000 raise.
Oh, 816 grand, dog.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I don't know. I'm torn on it. I think I'm a secondary buyer, not a minter. I would not mint it, but I'll watch. I'll watch to see what happens, but I'm just a little nervous right now. Joe, what are we thinking about Migos? You interested at all?
How much is the mid price?
6 Soul.
6 Soul. And what's the no? I'm not gonna probably mint that. I might secondary play it, but I don't know. Dude, I don't know. I'm not even in. I really like NFTs. Do not give me that urge to even try to spend Soul to flip or anything. Like, if anything, an SPL. For like a left curve play, or like, what we were just talking about with Soul Casino, like that. Okay, I can see that. But there's too much. You can't outperform liquid staking and DeFi opportunities right now trying to flip, said this and that for a couple Soul here and there, in my opinion. So to each his own. I just think that, minting is hard right now. So I know the heist as a whole, that's an outlier, and there's always outliers in life. It's a great book to read also. But yeah. Just rifting now, dude.
That's totally fair. I think if you want Migos exposure, you could play the Forge play, which does look like it may double bottom, but I would just be very cautious and exit expeditiously if you are planning to take that trade if it goes south. Because if it breaks down, then I would be very, very nervous. This is about the time that if we're going to see a reversal, it's going to happen now. Otherwise, I don't know if I'm too interested, but I'll watch secondary. I think that's kind of going to be my play. If you guys are listening along and want to play the Migos play, I'm not saying don't mince. There's always that rare opportunity if you guys want to play the game, but I personally am playing on the side of risk aversion, like Joe is, like Dor is talking about. And if I want to buy in, I either buy Forge or I buy secondary on Migos. I think that's going to be my play. So just be careful out there. Not sure what's going on. We'll talk about one more that's going on. Then we'll talk about Heist. Campai Pandas. Joe, do you know what Campai Pandas are?
Yeah, Ice follows me. I talked to Ice back in April or something like that. He's a cool dude. I was chopping it up about UFC with him. But yeah, I mean, I think they're gonna do well just because it's not like a true Solana community they're pulling from this mint with the 250 passes that they have and all the other chains that they've built community on. I mean, he's obviously a competent business owner. He has his compile on Mike Perry just had it on a video I just watched. I was like, what the? I didn't even know Mike Perry, John Jones, all these. I mean, he's obviously in the mix, karate, all that stuff. So I mean, yeah, it's like what 200 soul start of the Dutch auction down for the 250 passes. I'll play secondary on it. All these plays, I think you could play secondary right now if you don't have an in. I just think that risk to reward is there, right? Because if you're invalidated, then oh well. Like Tensorians, a lot of people got invalidated. It found price discovery. It'll probably come back down now. There's not a lot of liquidity in the market, so I wouldn't feel FOMO about it. But yeah, my eyes might be on that because he's a true builder. He's touched all chains. It's different. So yeah, I'll be watching that, but I'll probably not mint it for any of this amount of money.
Yeah, I mean, I will watch Dutch auction and just see. I feel like 10 minutes have gone by since I opened up this page, so I wonder if it's gone down. Yeah, what? Oh, it starts at 3 p.m. Eastern. Okay, yeah, I can't read. I'm stupid, so don't listen to me. But yeah, every
How much
10
is
minutes.
their ETH collection?
It's 1.1 ETH the last time I checked. So I do think there's some value here. And that's why I'm paying very close attention to the Dutch auction, because I think this could actually cook. And I think this is one that not enough people are talking about. That, like you said,
they have a token, right? They give away a lot of stuff. Like it's like that. It's rewarding, right? It's like a true utility community. Like it has like a basis.
A lot of social experiences too. And I know a lot of people will be like, the art's not that great. I heard that in some spaces today. And I'm like, bro, this is art that slaps on ETH. What are you talking about? Like it might not do well on Sol initially, but then you look over at the ETH collection, you're like, that art looks a whole lot better at 1.1 ETH, So this is a $2,000 PFP essentially. So I'm curious, if it gets down below like 40 or so, I can actually I might be tempted, but even then you're talking about NFTs and 40 Sol. That's a lot. That's a whole lot. So
yeah, I'm interested at less than like 30ish.
That's fair. I mean, to each their own. I think at the end of the day, I'm curious to see how Dutch auction works. I do think that this is a project I want some exposure to. I think Ice is a very smart businessman. He gets NFTs as well, and this does feel like a rewarding NFT to hold. But I'm curious to see how low it goes. I'd be interested at like under 40, and I mean interested. That does not mean I'm pressing the mint button or anything,
Nope.
but I'm curious to see what it goes down to. So we'll see from there. I do think there's some value over here. It's one I'm keeping my eye on for sure. But last but not least, we'll get into the main event because I do think this is going to be kind of our big catalyst case for moving forward is going to be Heist. And I mean this completely unbiased, guys. Like I'm trying to take off team hat and everything, but orangutans are coming tomorrow. We haven't really announced anything that we're going to do with season 2. Like we teased some stuff, but yeah, I don't think enough people are ready for what we're going to bring. I don't think people are ready for the size of the map. I don't think they're ready for the new features. And honestly, the orangutan art looks good. It came together much nicer than I expected because we got the initial drafts back and stuff. And we were kind of just going through in the Discord being like, oh, bro, this collection needs so much work. And Tom was talking. He's like, guys, this first draft, of course, we're just getting ideas, pen to paper. Like just let it happen. And it has turned out much better than I expected. If you guys haven't seen my PFP over on Twitter, that is at bisontrades. I am rocking one. You can also see Juices. A few of our other friends of the project have shared some, like Jakey and Turned Up Dylan. They look great. Honestly, I've seen a lot of people say they like them better than chimps, some even better than gorillas. I personally think they're still my third favorite, but I like them a lot more than I thought I would. And then the functionality of them is going to be similar to chimps, but also you'll see striking differences, and that'll go through as the season progresses. Coco's doing well. I mean, everybody's farming Coco. They're excited. The LP will go live tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern. So 12 p.m. Eastern, when you should expect the LP. That is when whitelist mint starts. So if you do have whitelist, you can go ahead and mint there. It is 5.25 SOL to mint. And then on top of that, there's going to be a public raffle. Now, this is not like the Gen 3.
B?
Looks like we got some technical difficulties right now. Yeah, so we're gonna see if Bison pops back up here in a second, because without him, everything crumbles. So let's just let's see, let's wait and see here for a sec. Yeah, Bison is that Florida Wi-Fi. You gotta love it. The heat gets so hot, it's probably just melting everything. But yeah, so Coco. So I guess can everyone hear me? Can someone type in the chat if they can hear me still, or am I just talking to the ether right now?
Yo, Joe. Yo,
Yeah, what's good, Dory?
no problem, dude. I had to switch over to Bison because I guess his internet cut out, man.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, we're keeping so sorry about the brief delay in there. So I will be filling in for Bison until he gets back. But yeah, I don't know anything behind the public mint side for orangutans, but I'm super excited, man. Just from all the promotional material that they put out regarding like chimps putting orangutans into trunks and seeing the cops' involvement. It's great to see how there will be a kind of a warring faction thing going on, and I will be interested to see how this rivalry of different factions plays against each other. Do you have any whitelist for Heist Season 2, Joe, for orangutans?
I only have like 2 pre-sales. I think I won in game. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think it'll be like 1-to-1 ratio with chimps and orangutans. They'll probably have a price cut down to like 13 to 15 SOL, I bet. Coco, I think people will sell initially just because you've been able to farm it, and then they see LP and they sell. But then once you realize what you need it for, they'll rebuy back in. It's obviously a capped amount. It's 2 million coming out every hour, not 200,000 like Nana, so it's not going to be as valuable, but you'll need it for some important things. So I tend to see a sell off to a reaccumulation to a higher high than where it started. It's probably what Coco is going to look like.
So
and then
Joe,
there's a lot of
You said tokenomics are released for it already, man?
I mean, not like full tokenomics, but we know it's going to be capped. We know it's going to be burned, and we know it's going to be needed. Like that's just like inevitable. It's inherent.
Yeah.
But I do know how much is getting released from the game compared to Nana. So comparatively, it's like a 2-to-1. So obviously, it's going to be less than Nana, most likely price action wise. But you still get the burning effect, and you still have some really good utility for it, obviously. So it's going to be a nice stable coin as well, like we've seen Nana be. So, but orangutans, they have a lot of built in this game that they've been talking about. If you're in the Heist cast and stuff on Twitter Spaces, that there's going to be some things that people aren't even expecting, which I can kind of like theorize on, but I'm not. But I think it's gonna be something fun that a lot of people are going to be surprised by, and it's really the only thing we have right now in Sol that's action based and bringing people some dopamine hits. So I'm pretty excited for it. I think it's going to do well. I'm just stacking now. No, I'm not looking.
I think it's going to do well. It'll be interesting. I think tomorrow when that LP opens up, that I think there's going to be some hard dumping. So like super hard, because you have individuals who have accumulated Coco. So you can't buy Coco now, can you?
Yes. So you can't buy it now, but the reason why I do think Coco will withhold pretty well at first, there'll be some dumping, but the majority of holders that hold something that's relevant are all people that have made such a ROI now that they get what Coco is going to be for and kind of do. So I think a lot of the people that are holding like 15 chimps and Rillas and more are going to probably hold their stash. It'll be the smaller guy that are trying to sell that don't really have much capital. So I do think there'll be slightly, but I don't think it's going to be a complete dump because people are going to incentivize by adding LP. You have all this percentage in APY now to add LP. You're a whale that's not selling Coco anytime soon. You're just going to start pairing and making LP pairings and get the fees from that. So like, I do think we'll have a sell-off, which will be accumulated by smart people, added to LPs, and then we'll have a night. Like the team's not stupid; they're doing it correct, you know. So
like, what do you think about the price action of chimps post? Like, you know,
if they do what I think they do, I think we'll see like 13 to let's say 16 sold for orangutans and chips because they'll be 1-to-1.
Yep.
But dude, we might be blown out of the water and like, oh man, there's 10x what we did with Nana now. That's literally 10x. Like people might say, you know what, I'm not selling anything, and then we might see 1% or low listings, and we might see that 16 to 20 sold floor, right? Because people are even more like speculation's all about selling the news, right? Because everyone's hype is not reality. Like we build things up so much that it's just going to be subpar to what we expect. But with the heist, you could have the opposite inverse effect where they bring something even more because they're not hyping anything up, right? So we have the speculation sell the news event. If that's invalidated in a lot of people's minds where it blows out what they thought was going to be, you could see something happening like that. So it's intriguing though because it's really the only project that can bring in 40K volume of Sol out of nowhere, right? Like.
Yeah, dude. Like one thing I'm looking at for tomorrow is specifically Tensorians, man. I have a thesis that anytime there's one of these hype mints where people feel like they can trade or make a profit on, other floor prices suffer. So I think we'll see a slight pullback in Tensorians, while if orangutans like perform really well in terms of like upwards price momentum and high volume trading, people want to get in that. So they'll probably floor the Tensorians into floor bids or whatnot. So I'm looking to pick up 2 to 3 tomorrow. If we do see like, that a pullback from that 21 range to like 17, 18, I think I'll be looking to jump in at.
Yeah, I think that's smart. Did they take the snapshot yet?
I don't think the snapshot happens till the weekend. So like even that with that coming too. So it's like maybe if I can get in at those prices, I'd be primed for the snapshot as well. So it could be like a good entry.
No, it might be a good entry, especially before a snapshot if it sells off a bit. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And also with in terms of the heist, man, it's I'm once again just waiting for after mint calms down, I'll probably buy chimps, orangutans, or maybe even one Rilla, just so I can have a better holistic scope of what's going on and how things interact. That way I can know which one of these things I need to like maximize profit. Because like your boys here on the RareFUD absolutely cooked on season 1, man. Like first of all, it was a blast. And I'm looking forward to season 2. I'm just waiting for the mechanics and everything else to be released. So I know like, oh, let me pick up this for, the best return on this or whatever. But overall, man, I don't have anything else to say for the heist, but super excited for it. And it meets tomorrow, right, Joe?
Yeah, tomorrow. Yep. I think 3 p.m. Eastern, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I might be wrong with that. But yeah, so it should be fun. It's definitely the only thing that's kind of cranking right now on the Solana side. That has like an inherent value proposition to it right now. Everything else kind of like just hold if you're buying it and hope for the best. What's up, B? You back in it, baby?
I hate weather.
Mother Nature try to take you down, bro.
Well, it want
you to win.
Mad lightning strike and just wanted to ruin all the alpha, but no, you guys did great. I appreciate you guys as always. Thank you for taking over the show, and you guys crushed it. So
brother.
But yeah, that I'll end with this because I don't know if we talked about it. I think I got rugged right when it happened. We have a 1,500 tangs are available to mint, but it's going to be in raffle style. It's going to be half a Sol for a ticket, right? Your risk is not my risk. My time horizon is not your time horizon. So DYOR, NFA, you don't get that Sol back. I have to emphasize that. You don't get that Sol back for entering into the raffle. Now, if you're like me, I also know that this could be EV+. So I plan on aping into this raffle. because I know
So you don't
that
have to pay for the mint if you win.
no,
the
it's a
raffle?
free mint. If you win the raffle, it's a free mint.
Yeah.
So
Okay, that makes
you don't have
sense.
to worry
I
about
like
mint
that.
cost or anything like that. It is,
Cool.
you know,
So you're
do your
risking
risk.
0.5 for probably 13 soul. Honestly, like that's a
I
pretty decent.
Yeah, I'll probably sold like 3 soul in this. Like, there's no
Yeah,
reason.
it's
Such
a
low.
decent EV positive.
I mean, what else you gonna put your soul into in NFT land right now? You
No,
know,
I just punted like 3 soul into a shitcoin because it's just like that. That's where
yeah,
I'm at with my life.
Yeah, pretty much, man.
yeah. So I think there will be some EV to be had there, but again, like, do so at your own risk. I cannot stress this enough. This is not going to be like the Gen 3 raffle where you get the money back. You like the half a soul that you'll be spending per ticket, and there will be some fun mechanics to go with it. Doesn't come back. So like, be very careful with this. I cannot stress this enough.
Dude, even though you clearly said that, and I'm sure you'll have something on the website that says that, people are still going to FUD on the timeline because
I told the team this.
In this
Yep.
space is like few and far between, dog.
Yeah. They're yeah. I told the team this. I was like, look, we can put it in bold, italicized letters. We can scream it from the mountains. Some people are just not. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, this should be like Gen 3 raffle, and end up putting in more soul that they're willing than they're willing to lose, and then we're gonna hear about it. So just
I put 20 soul into the raffle and I didn't. Dude, who told you to put that much in? That was your stupid fault. And don't worry, I'll talk about you on RareFUD on Thursday because I know there's going to be someone.
Yeah, and honestly, it's kind of like the primate pump, where we told everybody, I was like, yes, there's 3,000 whitelists up for sale or pre-sales up for grabs at primate pumps, 2,200 for chimps, 800 for gorillas. Not everybody's guaranteed to get one. And then I started seeing a lot of comments like, why didn't I get one? And you're like, bro, we try to tell you, like, not everybody's going to get one. The whole goal of this
one chimp didn't get one, surprisingly.
Yeah, it's tough to explain. Like, on average, you needed about like 7. So it was about 20 runs or so. Like 1 in 20 runs got a pre-sale. So yeah, like it's very rare, and a lot of people didn't get that mechanic. So yeah, you just have to understand that. So anyways, that the whole spiel I want to go on. I'm excited for it. I'm so excited for Heist because that means we get to do cooler shit. And honestly, I think this market could use it. So that's that. Anything else we want to talk about before lightning rugs me again?
Any alpha?
That was a scary lightning.
I know, right?
Yeah. No, I don't think I have any. I think I'm good on alpha right now. Soul Casino is probably the most obvious play that I'm just staring down as far as SPLs go. You can take some gambles on some other things. Right now, I'm staying very liquid. All my liquid is going into Heist most likely, or staying on the sideline. Maybe I'll play Coco a little bit because the LP will go. But I don't expect Coco to trade like Nana.
No,
Nana was straight up because we've had a lot of people already farming Coco.
Yep.
So they already have a head start. Be very careful trading Coco. I cannot stress this enough. Don't expect the same price action. I do expect a lot of people to like dump into it because ROI, and then we'll start implementing the features and syncs, and then they'll be like, wow, I shouldn't have sold that. And that would be the time that I'd be like, okay, yeah, this is probably a better time to trade for upwards price action. So just be very careful on initial liquidity offering, or if we want to I don't even know if we can phrase it that way. It's just the LP goes live. Yeah, we'll call it that. But yeah, I think that's all the alpha I got.
I'm looking out for Tensorians tomorrow. I'm hoping there is a pullback due to orangutan and Heist and Coco trading. So if I see a pullback in Tensorians at 17, 18 level, I'll probably soup up some. If not, I'll probably just buy one at this 21 level just so I can be eligible for the snapshot. But that's my alpha. And also still keep an eye on Clanos, man. Don't know when the bleeding's going to stop there, but they're under 30 right now, dude. So I'm just looking, just keep an eye on them, and that's all the alpha I got, man.
Bro, I'm sad about Tensorians because I want this snapshot, and so like I delisted my mid rares, but please somebody also buy my mid rares. Like I keep going back and forth. I'm like, man, I wish I just got floors and I could have just sold those and accumulated and all that good stuff. But K10 saying Clano's under 30. Yeah, I mean, I'll wait till the bleeding stops. Honestly, I I love Clanos. I want more Clanos, but I am also just terrified of these market conditions. Like this could go straight back to like 21, and I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think they stay there very long, but that would be more of the price action I look for. Is I'll wait for bleeding to stop, and then I'll evaluate.
Yep. All right. That you got anything, Joe?
Nope. Joe might have rugged too. It might have been storming by him.
Yep, he might have got hit too.
Anyways,
I
think that about does it for us on today's episode of RareFUD Radio. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We do stream every Tuesday, Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with episodes uploaded to podcast shortly after. If you haven't already, make sure you go over to the podcast platform, whether it is Apple or Spotify. Leave us a review. Drop us a subscribe down below. It's that big red button. You can't miss it. It's free to do. It's free to support the show. Tell your friends about us. We love new people. So that about does it for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard.